Maybe this is going to be one of those where we get a surprise return. Maybe we get a Big E feel good moment.
Oh,
you know, I mean, you got Xavier Woods in this, you know, right off the bat as well. I mean, we could get something like that going. So I think there's a potential maybe for this to be a little bit worthwhile. But I mean, I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to go with Ziggler or maybe even Butch. Maybe we see, you know, we see the emergence. I mean, those are my two picks. I'm split between the two, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards Butch. Just a hair now.
I'd be happy with either of those.
I'd be happy.
They're solid picks. Yeah.
So my interesting thing with this is obviously Bobby Lashley was not supposed to be in this match. He was supposed to be wrestling Bray Wyatt, but whatever happened. There's too many stories for me to even tell you what happened, to be honest. But I think the main thing is I think LA Knight desperately needs some momentum because he is my favorite to win the Money in the Bank this year in the UK. And I think this is the start of that. Phil, I'm sorry, but I am picking LA Knight to win the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Rob, are you picking your boy? Or are you going to like do some upset thing right now and pick somebody else?
I'd love it to be Johnny, but he's got his hands full in NXT. I'm sad Johnny's not on Mania. As soon as he got that NXT match, I was like, first of all, it could be a match of the weekend right there, just as far as matches going, in-ring work and work rate and all that kind of stuff. But I was hoping he would get some sort of Mania, not even moment, but entrance, hear his music play at Mania. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. He's in this Mania SmackDown, which I've notoriously not liked on the show. Certain moments have happened on that SmackDown that I feel should have happened on Mania. Do I think Johnny's going to win? No. I like where Baron Corbin is, where he's just kind of getting dismissed all the time. I think it's really a lot of fun and different, so I'll keep him where he is. Do I think LA Knight is going to win? Yeah.
Oh, this isn't good. This is not good. That means he's not winning because you picked it. He's not winning.
Kenny, your track record, you are not one to talk, ma'am.
Ooh. We're not talking about that. That was Impact, and that was one time.
That was 0-8. Do you know how bad you gotta be to not even get one win?
It was 1-7. Okay, and I'm telling you, someone at Impact read my article for the Pop Break and said, let's just go against everything we wrote here, because there's no way. I sounded so logistical. Speaking of the Pop Break, Bill, who do you have to win? I suggest like the match you're most looking forward to this weekend.
Actually, Bobby Lashley lucked out and not having to do that stupid Bray Wyatt match. I'll tell you that because that was just a train wreck. Last year, Madcap Moss won.
Yeah.
So it like doesn't matter really because I was legitimately like, oh, it could be Karrion Kross, it could be Santos Escobar, it could be all these people, and then it's just like, oh, it'll probably be like a returning Funaki who wins or something like that.
Hey.
I love Funaki. Don't make fun of Funaki.
I was saying he could win the goddamn Battle Royal.
Like, he's not coming to LA.
That's one of the Rivas' favorite people here.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, like, I think it should be. I wish there was a stipulation attached to this year because there's so many people not on Mania. But yeah, I mean, I wish I was also 6'2", but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to go with Santos Escobar. I feel like he's someone I've been a fan since his AAA days. So I'm just going to pick with him, especially since they put him in there with Dom a little bit. And apparently they really love Dom, which just makes me want to bash my head in with a rock. So I think that Santos could use that rub, but I also could see Pete Dunne, because they said he is returning one day as Pete Dunne, so that could happen. But I would love to see him win. But I'm going to go with Santos on this one. So you know what that means, guys?
What?
It's someone we're not even thinking. It's like it's going to be like Top Dollar. And we're all going to be like, fuck.
I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be like, what is this? Anyway.
I think I'm confident.
It's going to be Mace. Yeah, it'll be Mace.
I wouldn't be mad at a Maximum Male Models win. I think they could turn that into something. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Otis. But we're going to see Otis.
There's really not many people in this match that I would be like, why did they win, you know? Except maybe Hit Row, because they've just disappeared out of obscurity.
Well, I mean, there's such a just a wide dearth of talent here.
Yeah.
That's the painful part, is that this is a throwaway match. And then you have like, I mean, you know, Gallows and Anderson right off the bat. You got Gargano, you have Dexter Lumis. Like, you have all these interesting stories too, and all these different, you know, just this different level of talent. Again, you got Butch, you got Dolph Ziggler, and it's like, man, I mean, I hope people get their spots and their moments, but it just shows that why are they in this battle royale?
Yeah. I could see it being Karrion Kross too, though.
Yeah,
there's a few people.
Well, Amanda, it's because we all hail Papa H and his booking decisions as of late, but
not all the time.
That was so sarcastic, people. Oh my God, we have a special guest! Yay!
Yes. There he is.
Did you say hi, Daddy? Yeah, he's got his picks ready to go, right, Betty?
Oh, is he ready to pick our next match? This is a good one.
I think so. I think so.
So we're going for one Royal Rumble winner who I was so upset about that she won because I didn't think it should have been her. But, you know, I'm not booking. Listen, there was a story with Bayley. We could have went the whole way here, but whatever. Anyway, we have Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm trying here. And yeah, this is going to happen. And Rhea Ripley's going to win. Hooray. Rob, what do you got?
Keep it short and sweet. You know, they've been putting that proverbial jetpack on Rhea right now. There's no reason for her to lose here. She's had some great matches with Charlotte in the past. They're going to hit their spots. It's going to be actually a really, really good match. It always is. That being said, I mean, this is Rhea's rise to the top and absolutely dominating not only the women's division, but the WWE moving forward.
Amanda and Seth.
We are Team Ripley over here. We are the nightmare because this is her time. This is her time. She has done so much in a short period of time. I mean, she's carrying Dominic at this point. I mean, she's who's keeping that storyline relevant. I mean, she's the most intriguing. And I mean, that's hard to stand out against Finn Balor, you know, and even Damian Priest, but Finn Balor, you're in the same faction and you're eclipsing him to an extent. I mean, you know, this is her time to shine. She is all over, you know, and there's comparisons for her, you know, being compared to China, which I appreciated her interview saying, you know what? Yeah, she laid the groundwork, but I'm going to do things my way. I mean, can you imagine if she actually got that Intercontinental Championship title match?
Maybe she's the one to dethrone Gunther.
Exactly. I mean, I'm here for it. So this is her moment. And if WWE doesn't put it on her at this point, I don't know what to say. Papa H, please hear us and make this happen because this is her moment.
He's clearly watching this pod. Hi, Papa H. Hi, me. Bill.
So Triple H has one big booking flaw, especially when it comes to women's titles, and that is keeping it on champions for way too long and not building the next person. We saw that with Asuka. That happened with Shayna Baszler. I mean, they just kept these titles on, never put it on to the next person. And you're like, oh, there could have been a build there. And the China build was the most blatant Triple H thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, we get it. Luckily, I think Rhea Ripley went well above that because she should win this match. And I say should because there is that inkling in the back of my head that it's Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair doesn't have a lot of losses at WrestleMania.
It's an odd numbered WrestleMania, though. She loses on those.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope you're right because it's Rhea Ripley is like really. I do love Charlotte, but I feel like there's something about her return. I feel like she's been stuck in this gear, and I don't know if that's because of who she's wrestling or something's off. But I feel like there's this gear she's not hitting. But Rhea Ripley is it. She is the star. She is like, she has found all of it. She could be intense. She could be funny. She could step in there with a dude, and everyone's like, "Shit, I want to see that fight." And she can make us all laugh, and she could beat anybody up. And she would be a great representative of WWE. That's why she should win. But man alive, something in the back of my head says like, old Banana Nose is going to be like, we're going to keep it on Charlotte. And you're like, shit. But my hope is Rhea Ripley for this one.
Not Shar. Shar can't win. See how like it doesn't make sense when you text it to me? It doesn't have the flow Brit does.
Oh, I
just
call
her Shar.
I do that to make fun of Mike because I think he calls her that. So
Ella.
You know how you mentioned to Bill that Charlotte seems to be like losing her gear or trying to find it.
I feel like she's just stuck in it, and I don't know why.
I have a solution that would fix that, because if you watched SmackDown last week, Charlotte got the what chance, and she kind of went back to her heel promos. And if you recall, when Rhea Ripley faced Bayley, obviously it was heel on heel, Rhea was getting a lot of cheers. So double turn, Rhea wins. Rhea's babyface. Charlotte's back in her natural heel self. Rhea's SmackDown Women's Champ. I think that kind of solves that a little bit, maybe.
But now you turn the whole Judgment Day face. Like, how that dynamic work out?
I mean, Rhea could just be a tweener, but what I'm saying is Charlotte, she was leaning into those heel stuff last week a little bit.
She was. It was good. Not those what chants though, but it was
Rhea
good.
Could be a tweener. There's been people in factions that people just love one person out of those factions, That's kind of how like Jamie Hayter started. Jamie was a part of a heel faction. Granted, this is a different scenario, but Jamie was a part of a heel faction. People started naturally gravitating towards her, and then it just naturally turned babyface. So it could be maybe the same for Rhea, but hers is different because she's with Dominic and a couple of the other guys. It's a little bit different, but who knows? But I think Rhea's winning.
Well, from one women's championship match to the next, let's flip over to the Raw side. Bianca Belair versus Asuka, in which has been a very interesting build, meaning that none of them were on Raw this past week. That's not how you build to this match, Papa H. I think that Bianca needs to go away for a while and like take a break. She has literally beaten every single person on this Raw roster. Like, we get it. I think it's time that she, comes like huge comeback at SummerSlam is what I'm envisioning. I know Ella already disagrees with me. So let's go back to Ella so she can tell me why I'm wrong.
So if you would have told me like right after Chamber, I would have been like, yeah, Asuka is winning. Asuka now as Kana brings a different level. She's more dangerous. She's been playing some mind games. I seemed hopeful that this was really going to put Bianca Belair to the test against an opponent type that she's never really faced before. However, this build, like you said, has not convinced me that Bianca is even a twinge afraid of Asuka. She just seemed a little bit more confused to me. Like, Asuka's played those mind games, and she hasn't really proved, though, that she's truly, truly dangerous. Just that she's kind of crazy. So I think for me, Bianca is more confused than scared of Asuka. And for that reason, it doesn't seem that there's enough believability right now that Asuka, unfortunately, I think Asuka's going to be 0-5 at Mania. Belair's going to retain. If they would have built the story up more and made it legitimately look like Bianca Belair was even a twinge afraid of Asuka, then I would believe that Asuka would finally get her win. But unfortunately, the booking hasn't panned out that way. So for me, Bianca Belair is retaining.
0-5. That's rough. I didn't realize.
I mean,
that.
Sasha Banks was 0-5 until last year when she was 1-6, right? I think so. I think it was.
Yeah, and now she's off dominating the world.
1-5. Sorry, she was 1-5 after last year. Finally,
yeah. Rob,
Ella brings up some really great points. I think it's no secret here, and I'm sure other people will agree with me. And I reiterate this: the story here. What is it? We know, like, the smart wrestling fan knows Asuka's past and her past personas. We're seeing a little bit of that now. The casual fan, I feel, may not be understanding that, shy of little tiny segments where there's not a lot of interaction between the two. There was some great packages put together kind of last minute to kind of tell a little bit of a story, but the story's really lacking here. Asuka and Bianca are both, Triple H products in NXT, both very strong champions. I think I want to say this could go either way, but to Ella's point, I think it has to, there's no choice for it to be other than Bianca. That being said, lack of story here, but this is a potential show stealer in terms of ring work, in terms of the pacing of this match. I think they're going to go all out for this one. I say this all the time on the BCP. I feel like they keep Bianca at 40%, 60%, and she's going to go all out. We're going to see the full extent of her offense, things we haven't seen her do in a long time since NXT. Probably some other impressive moment, like when she pressed Sasha. That was amazing. Little things like that. I think the match itself could be a show stealer and match of the weekend. I'm going to say Bianca wins this one.
Match of the weekend. Oh, that is an interesting claim. I think there's 5 other matches this weekend that will be better than this one. Amanda?
This one, the buildup, I'm with everybody. The story is kind of because, to me, I felt like the buildup for the SmackDown women's title is much better. I really feel like for this match to be, Robbie bring up some great points, because I feel like Bianca needs to go all out to be just re-energized and remind people, because she's a hell of an athlete. Just physical specimen, her strength, her ability, wow, off the charts. And I feel like people forget that sometimes with, again, with how creative treats her, with how she's written, where she's at and her opponents even, I think seeing her go all out is going to make people remember why she is champion. And with somebody like Asuka across from her who can handle it and who brings her own set of unique skills, it's going to be hopefully an impressive technical match. I am leaning towards Asuka only because I feel like maybe we're going to see the Kana aspect just go full blown heel, do what she needs to do to get in there to win. We're going to see a more maybe vicious side of Asuka that we've been needing to see,
as it should be.
I mean, we know, and like the long time fans have known that, yeah, she's capable of some crazy stuff. And, but that's what we need. And I think Asuka herself needs that to go to the next level. And WWE has honestly failed her at times, time and time again, with how she's been developed. She's amazing. And I think just, you get her a start of a good push, and then it gets stopped, and then pushed, and then stopped. I think Asuka needs this at this point in her career. So I'm going to say we're going to see a whole new side of Asuka next Evolution, and she's going to take it from Belair.
Bill's the deciding vote, I guess.
I don't understand WWE's problem why they can't present Bianca Belair as the as the star she is. I always feel like she's number 3 or number 4 behind Becky, behind Charlotte, behind Ronda. I'm going to take it back to a BCP from a few years ago, where I said that Sasha and Bianca, I said this build could be like an Austin Rock, like 2 top contenders, elite people. They're not the promos that Austin and Rock are. Very few human beings are, but it's got that type of build. 2 superstars who are legit superstars going to fight each other. And what was the program? Can they coexist as a tag team? And they got beat every time. And then what happened was, these 2 women came out there and said, we're going to outclass everyone on this match. We're going to create one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. I think we'll see something like that as well. I think we're going to see a great match that's going to outdo the booking here. My whole thing here is if you're asking me to book this thing, and that's something I do a lot on this show, is I just say theories that aren't going to happen. Ella said, well, make Charlotte a heel. Make Bianca Belair a heel. Let her have fun. And you know what you do? You break up the fucking Street Profits and you put Montez and Bianca together as the king and queen of WWE. Not some comedy thing like King Booker, which I loved. And as someone who's watched Booker T since I was 7, I loved it. But I watched him when he was in Global Force Wrestling.
When doing the math in her head.
He's like 40 something. What happened there? Oh God. That's why we have degrees in words. So not math, but I think making them, because Montez should equally be as a star, and having them together being this very arrogant, but can back it up type of heels, take everything she does now, the skipping, the hair stuff, the earrings, everything, just turn it a quarter of an inch, it's a heel. And she would be so over as a heel. She'd have so many fresh things going on here. And it would be different. It would be interesting. Allow her to talk. Allow her to be something. And then guess what? Give it 8 months. Everyone will start to love her, and she'll be a babyface, and she'll be a huge star. Put her out there in the mainstream, because her and Montez are made for the mainstream. They really are. Two good-looking people, charismatic as hell, can talk about anything. Former athletes, they're golden. It's right there. It's literally like stacks of money are in front of you. Just put it in the bank. It's there. You're welcome, Triple H.
You still haven't told us who you think is going to win.
Who's winning?
Well, it's going to be Bianca, because they're not going to put it on Asuka, in my opinion. It's just I'm saying they have so much potential here, and I just don't think they gave Asuka any opportunity to do what she wanted to do. So this will be much like another gimmick we'll see later. It's just something she'll break out every once in a while, and everyone's like, "Ooh, it looks cool," but it has no meaning to it.
That's a good point. Well, Bill, I will tell you that's why Bianca and Montez are getting their Hulu show, right? That's still happening, right?
Yeah,
they're getting their Hulu show. Okay, I wasn't crazy.
Because I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
Just did a bunch of interviews last month for it. So
yeah, okay. I wasn't crazy. You know what I'm not looking forward to? Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Omos, because it's so stupid. But Brock Lesnar's leaving, so we should all be yay. Rob,
this is the no. This is going to be the match of the weekend. This is going to be the funniest fucking match on the face of the planet. I'm just gonna laugh my ass off at this match, because Brock is gonna try. Believe it or not, I think Brock is actually gonna try, because he does not want to embarrass himself at WrestleMania. But this is going to be hilarious. I'm just going to laugh so much, because this is Omos. I'm glad you're getting that payday, but this match should never have happened. It could have been anybody, literally anybody, but this is happening. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So who do you have winning?
I mean, that's like the dumbest question. It's obviously Brock Lesnar. Brock don't lose. And if Brock Lesnar loses to Omos, I would die laughing. I really would. I would cry. I would have tears coming out of my eyes laughing so much. But yeah, it's Brock Lesnar's going to win. Come on.
Rob?
Yeah, not my favorite match.
You love it. You're such an Omos mark. Come on.
Yeah, not my favorite match on the card. I'm never a huge fan of like the big man versus big man matches, unless again there's like a good story attached to it,
or Kane's in it.
That being said, I think to Bill's point, like he put it differently than I would put it. He said Brock's gonna try. I think they're gonna try to make this kind of crazy. They're gonna put a lot of effort, I'm choosing my words carefully, into this one. We saw some of the segments. They were really trying to go the extra mile there. I worry about the work rate in this one. I worry about the movement. A lot of power spots. I think Brock's going to try to do some quick kind of stuff, some clever kind of stuff. You got to end it with the F5 on Omos for the big WrestleMania moment, right? Maybe multiple F5s on him. But that's got to be it, man. I'd love to see Brock come in and put, the next generation over, but give me something more from Omos in terms of a story or freak genetic power or something like that. I need to see more in-ring work from him as well. So I'm gonna say Brock.
Well, this should be a 5-minute squash match, but Brock Lesnar going over so quickly that if you blink, you're gonna miss the winner of this match. This is exactly how the match should go. Amanda.
Yeah, this was not my favorite either. This is going to probably be my bathroom break. I hate to say that during a Brock Lesnar match, because Brock's stuff is usually, interesting with his opponents and whatnot. Having seen almost in WrestleMania in Dallas in person, that was cringe. I give him credit. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a big dude. And people, that's kind of a throwback, to the 86 where the big men were the attraction. But I mean, for Brock, if you're going to put him up against a big guy, put him up against another big guy with skill, again, like a Bobby Lashley, it's like a bigger dude with skill. I feel like we're going to get some ugly F5s out of this. ugly F5s, probably some ugly German suplexes out of it. God.
You're trying to be so nice, man.
I'm trying, but I mean, we're definitely Team Brock over here. I really hope it's a squash. Let's just, I just worry people are going to get hurt in this match. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be one of those where I'm going to hope Seth needs to go to the restroom or something, or when we're watching or something like that. But, I mean, I give Brock credit for wanting to, or at least attempting to do this match. But yeah, it's going to be Brock and it's going to be messy, but it'll be Brock.
Are we going 5-0, Ella? Are we all picking Brock?
We are, unless MVP phones in the Hurt Business.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah.
As of now, Lashley's not doing anything. Lashley's had connections to MVP in the Hurt Business. So unless MVP phones them in, then I do believe Brock is going over, yes. I would be absolutely shocked if Lashley had no appearance on this Mania card whatsoever. Like I said, whether that be they set up LA Knight versus him, or if he somehow gets involved in this matchup. I think we get Bobby Lashley in some capacity on the Mania card. In what? I don't know.
I think they could pull if this is a poll, they could pull a Nathan Jones. So if I remember Nathan Jones back in the early 2000s with this big ass dude, he was actually in Mad Max Fury Road. He was supposed to team with The Undertaker against A-Train and Mark Henry, maybe. And what they did was they had Nathan Jones was so bad, they actually hired the FBI, the full-blooded Italians, to take him out. And The Undertaker wrestled a handicap match. So what they could do here is they could have Omos be taken out by somebody, and Bobby Lashley has to go in, and we get Bobby.
Oh, that's a good
That is the only way you save this, because it's like, he slipped on a banana peel. We don't know what happened. Blackpool Combat Club took him out. We don't know anything happened. And it's just like, and there you go. And then Bobby goes in. That would be the better.
Yeah.
Chances of that happening, though?
50-50 at this point.
0.
No, I wouldn't say 0.
I wouldn't say 0.
We've seen crazier things happen. I'm just saying.
I mean,
We
last
saw
year we saw Vince McMahon
wrestle last year.
Yeah.
Damn, that's me and Bill talk to each other too often that we were thinking the same thing. But you know what match everyone is looking forward to on this card? Like, actually, it's the triple threat match for the IC title. People are actually looking forward to this. And it's Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew. And Gunther's going to lose. But I'm not going in my whole spiel. Oh, I have a theory. Amanda, who you got before I go?
Oh, man. I got to go with Gunther, man. I don't think they're going to take the title off him for a little bit longer. It's going to be a hell of a match. I mean, again, Gunther and Sheamus, I enjoyed it. I loved it. And then you add Drew McIntyre in there. It has the potential to be the match of the weekend. Could be match of the year. I mean, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm excited, and I really think Gunther. I mean, he's got 2 former world champions. I mean, that's a solid match just in general with everybody being in it. And speaking to how much faith everybody has in Gunther. I mean, I'm excited for this one, and I feel like. Again, it could be a match. It could be a match of the year candidate. It's going to be a great one. And, but I still think Gunther's going to retain a little while longer. I think now that Rhea threw it out there, maybe with the Intercontinental, you never know. But I feel like they're gonna keep it on Gunther a little bit longer. He's too hot right now to take it off.
Gunther's so hot right now.
Gunther's so hot right
now. Future me's thinking, who's Johnny gonna beat for the Intercontinental Championship down the line?
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. All right, my man. Bill knows the deal. I always like that guy. I think in this particular booking, Amanda said this could be a match of the year candidate. All these moving pieces here, but I think Gunther is destined for bigger things and bigger opportunities. I mean, we saw him essentially being the workhorse of the Royal Rumble. That being said, we also have that storytelling and the dynamic between Drew and Sheamus. I think if Drew wins it here, this is kind of like almost like a weird consolation prize. I'm going to be using that term a lot in this podcast. I think the way to go, and the way Sheamus has always been booked, and he's obviously very close with Triple H, has been for some time. He always gets these big wins out of nowhere, like the Royal Rumble win I saw coming, but like he won that WWE Championship real early, like real fast. I think this is the IC title win for Sheamus until Johnny.
Grand Slam.
Yeah,
that would
that's
make
it.
him a Grand Slam.
That's
then.
it. So, I think it has to happen for Sheamus here for multiple reasons.
No, stop copying me. Now I'm mad. That's 2 that's not going to happen for me because Rob picked it. My God.
What does that mean?
Because this is what happens. So you think I'm always wrong. Rob's also always wrong. And when me and
fair.
Rob, statistically speaking, for the past 2 years, every time me and Rob agree on something, it always never happens. So, God. Ella?
I agree with Amanda. I see Rob's point. Maybe Gunther's destined for bigger things. Cody did say that he wanted a one-on-one with Gunther after WrestleMania. It's possible. But at this point, he's what? He'll have the title for 10 months at this point. June 10th would bring him to a year. I would be cool for Sheamus to get that Grand Slam moment, but I'm envisioning Gunther retaining here. And then the question is, who could possibly dethrone him? I feel like there's somebody who's out injured right now, who also has a pair of allies that are still on the main roster that they could reunite with to go 3-on-3 versus Imperium. And that being AJ Styles. He's out injured. The Good Brothers, I mean, they're not doing much right now, but AJ Styles is one like Drew and Sheamus that can deliver a banger with Gunther, like just period. And they could have the 3-on-3 first. Granted, that assumes that there's a draft or some shit happens. But 3-on-3, there's a story there for 3-on-3, but there's also the story there of AJ Styles would be a believable person, I think, to beat Gunther. So maybe that's just because I want that to happen and envision it. But I'm going with Gunther. I think he's going to hold the title I think he's going to go a year till June.
I agree.
The reason why I am not picking Gunther is because if you think about it, the beauty of a triple threat match is Gunther still gets protected. Sheamus doesn't have to pin Gunther.
Yeah.
Sheamus can pin Drew. And then Sheamus and Drew can go off and have like this whole battle for the IC title all summer. They could do a best of 7, however the hell they want to settle it. Listen, I'm just suggesting things. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Remember, I went 1-7 in Impact. They clearly didn't like any of my suggestions over there.
I won't be mad if Sheamus wins. I think that'd be a great moment for him. Grand Slam, well deserved. I think Gunther is going to go here.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a way to protect him. And then, like, you could have Cody and Gunther SummerSlam. You could build to that in Detroit. I'm not saying that Gunther's going to beat Cody, but, that's a thing.
I'm still
Bill.
Gunther. So Bill, again, you're the deciding factor, Bill.
I'm going Gunther, and I'm actually for once. I've been a Gunther guy before he had that dopey ass name, so I'm always gonna go with my dude. He's in incredible shape. He's the workhorse guy, and I really think if they truly believe in Johnny Gargano, I think what you do is you have him beat the two. This is gonna be as Big E Langston once said, a bunch of big men, beefy men slapping meat in this match. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's going to be great. I can't wait to unabashedly cannot wait for this match. But if you want to get Gargano over, have him take them chops, have him fight back, have him win, have him beat the guy who beat the guys. Listen, Gunther's protected. He will go on, and him and Cody. Gunther could be WWE World Champion. They believe in him that much, and I could see him taking it off Cody down the road if Cody wins it this weekend. But you got to do something, and I think that's how you get Gargano over. If not, then what are we doing here? Honestly, the story writes itself.
I think this is going to be the second best match of the whole Mania card.
Oh, interesting what you think the first one will be.
I'm scared to know what the first one you think
I'm
is
just
going to be.
No, I'm not saying it's sarcastic. I'm very curious because I think this is just.
I think for like the in-ring stuff, I don't know how to explain it. Like
there's spectacle
This is going to have the best like in-ring technical work for sure. But I think the story of Roman and Cody going to be like the best story. This is probably going to be the best technical match of the evening. But
it's going to be a masterpiece. Yeah. I can already see Brandon drooling over it, breaking it down when we're watching together. So,
but to kick off WrestleMania weekend, we have Austin Theory versus. So the last time John Cena was in LA, you know what he did? He
lost to The Rock. Oh, I don't know.
He was in the Suicide Squad.
I don't know.
It was Peacemaker. There you go.
That's right.
He won his first world title against JBL in the co-main event. That's what happened.
JBL.
Oh man!
Listen, I wasn't even watching WWE. However many years ago was that?
Either.
That's math. I don't do math.
Wasn't that like 05?
Well, we were around.
Something like
Amanda
that.
and I were watching.
We were around.
I don't know if Rob was watching.
That had been 05 or 06.
Yeah, sure. Matt,
Rob,
I don't do
Rob
math.
was just doing a lot of this back then.
Yeah.
That's
oh, too bad you'll never.
I still do that.
Oh, we do that every podcast.
Yeah.
Kimmy hosts.
Kimmy loves it.
No, I don't. No.
The disrespect.
It's not
Kimmy.
disrespect at all.
No, disrespect. Kimmy saying that she's saying no. That's disrespectful, Kimmy.
Come on.
That's disrespectful.
Shame.
That's disrespectful.
Shame.
You're shaming the host. I could kick you all off this podcast right now. We can just continue.
I will still be doing this.
No, Rob has that power.
No.
We'll go on socially distance tomorrow. He streams on all your favorite platforms on Friday. We'll be talking about the Mandalorian, just doing this.
I'm here for it.
So
Rob, I'll just bring you on for a minute.
Just
be like,
I won't even say nothing. I'll just juke.
Be your best appearance. It'd be the best thing you've ever done. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
Oh, there's a joke I won't do. So what's the next match?
It was Austin Theory versus John Cena.
Yes.
Before you rudely interrupted me and made it into the Bill show. It's the Kimmy takeover. If you want a Bill takeover, you could do that some other time. It's not this one.
But it was done though. It just happened.
I did.
I'm picking Austin Theory because I don't think John Cena. I think John Cena can put Austin over. I think he's going to be the nice guy. And then a Switchblade's going to come out night 2 and beat Austin Theory because Jay White's coming WWE. Rob.
Man, I didn't want to be among one of the first ones to go here. This one I've been going back and forth on all week. With Cena, it's more of a business thing. It's more of a scheduling thing. Is Theory the guy that he, not to say Cena's done, but, a lot of, the dialogue and reports, take everything with a grain of salt. Obviously, we're like, he had said to Cody, hey, I don't know how many more of these I got left in me. He's got a lot going on. He's got a crazy schedule that goes without saying. Is this one of the last matches we see of John Cena for a while anyway? That being said, we known for a long time that Austin Theory is a huge Cena fan. I'm always of the mindset, and this will come into play later, of if you have those opportunities and you can manifest them and they actually happen, like do what you can to pull the trigger on these things because people get injured or, contracts or whatever it is or, who knows what goes on. So always take the opportunities when you can. That being said, just because the championship's involved too, I got to say that Austin Theory retains the championship here. We do not see Cena on the following Monday Night Raw, and if we do, he'll kind of, come out looking strong, but it's tough, man. I could see Cena winning here, but then he has the burden of carrying the strap. So that being said, I got to go Austin Theory. It just makes more sense.
No, stop agreeing with me. My God, Amanda.
Oh man. If the belt wasn't involved, I would have said Cena. But I feel like Cena still has a little bit. I agree with you to an extent, Rob. I think we're seeing, as Cena's rise and popularity as an actor, his commitments are coming up. I think, we're gonna see we're gonna see him less, and he's gonna gradually work his way out of the wrestling world, which will be a sad day because Cena's done a lot. But if the title wasn't involved, I would have said Cena. But because the title's involved and he's not gonna be around to defend it. He can't contractually for the most part. I don't know what his schedule is like, other than, what's going on with Peacemaker. And who knows with the changes in DC or what's going on, Marvel, everything that's in flux in the universe of superheroes right now, where Cena's role in that's going to lie or how that's going to work out going forward. So, there's a lot of unknowns in terms of his career outside. And so I feel like he's going to do Austin a solid and put him over. And I am all here for Kimmy's idea of Jay White showing up. I would love that. Or who knows, maybe Jay White shows up and challenges Gunther. Who knows? That could be cool too. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Theory on this one too, because the title's on the line.
Listen, I'd rather Jay White show up next week after the Juice Starks match, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I wish it did. Ella.
Guys, do you know how many times in wrestling history that someone has won a title at WrestleMania and then lost it on Monday Night Raw?
Yes,
the
I do.
day after or the 2 days after.
Very aware.
Now, with that being said, that's the only way John Cena wins, is if his reign is 2 days long. I do think, though, that Theory is still going to win. But in the event that Cena does, he's dropping that shit right on Monday. He just started filming another movie the same day he returned to Raw that same morning. So the only way Cena is winning here, and it pains me to say that because I love John Cena, the only way Cena wins is if he drops that belt 2 days later on Raw. But that's just crazy. It's not really crazy, but it feels unlikely. So I'm going to go with Austin Theory.
So if he does lose on Monday, is it to Jay White? Are we all Jay White?
So somebody said that because I was doing a couple other podcasts today. Somebody brought up the idea of Cena winning, dropping it to Jay White on Raw.
Wow. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Could be anybody.
I DM'd that to Warren the other day. I can't pick Austin Theory ever.
I don't want to.
He's my new Randy Orton. Never picking that guy. Also, shave the beard. It's awful. Just get rid of it. He is the guy. Austin Theory will be WWE World Champion one day. They have, since his Evolve days, they have christened him as the next big thing. Mm-hmm. They've looked aside certain things they probably shouldn't have looked aside, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll always hold on to it because I'm Irish and stubborn. So here's the thing. John Cena will win this because the best thing for Jay White would be John Cena. If this is a day one show, he wins it. Day two, interview John Cena because you still want to get that Cena reaction. What are you going to do? Monday Night Raw, the John Cena US Open Challenge returns. Yeah. Jay White or Radley McBarfknuckle or whatever they're going to call him. He's going to win that. I did that just for you, Rob. He's going to come out and win because what better way to set up Jay White if they've been trying to get this guy forever. And if he gets him and he shows up, there you go. Although I do hear rumors too that, the guy on Wednesday night's ruling to open up the checkbook and ruin some things for WWE. So maybe Jay White does show up in AEW. Who knows? But I really think he's in WWE.
But also John Cena's placement on this card, he's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. So I think that's also what's swaying me to Theory winning is Cena. Cena's probably got stuff to do. Hence why he's first on this card. Much like Brock Lesnar, and I don't remember who else he opened that match. I think it was Seth Rollins. Yeah, that match was first, and then they left.
He left because he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Not that Cena doesn't want to be there, but he probably has other obligations.
Disrespect to New Jersey, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best way to make this happen because he'll probably be a town clown. He'll probably win. And I'll just sit there and be like, this is why I don't watch you guys very often. So that's that. But I'm picking John Cena, spelled Jawn, because he's representing.
If he does win, that reign's only lasting 2 days.
Yep.
From one legend to 2 Hall of Famers and the man, because we got 2 Hall of Famers on this card. Well, we have multiple Hall of Famers on this card, but just for this match, we have Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. Did you guys think this match was going to happen on January 1st, 2023? No. Wait, actually, Bill, what the hell?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you meant it was just going to happen a month ago. I'm like, yeah, I totally did. And then it was like, oh, you said January 1st. I'm like, oh, fuck.
I think Damage Control needs to win more. I think there's something I wrote about this in the pop break version of my predictions, where if you look at last year, Io was frustrated and it was the rumors of her leaving. Dakota was 3 weeks before she was released and Bailey was hurt. So to go a year later and be able to wrestle two people who got you into the business and someone who they all highly respect in Becky Lynch, I think there's something to that story, which is why I think it makes more sense for Damage Control, especially because it's also rumored that Trish is actually going to turn and wrestle Becky at SummerSlam, which I think is absolutely insane because I thought like Trish's last match was against Charlotte, but in WWE, you never have a retirement match because everyone comes out retirement every 0.5 seconds. But Rob, damn.
I think this match is Damage Control for Damage Control. This has been something that
wordplay.
Hey, I'm not the anti-smart, but I try. I think the whole thing, great. I say this every podcast. Great singles competitors. The factionism, which I'm always very critical of, it just hasn't worked. The story here, it doesn't work. The promos between Bailey and Becky at times have been awkward. It just doesn't flow. Injecting Lita and Trish into the match, that's a real treat. I don't take that for granted. It's great to see them back at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people here at the BCP compound very excited about it. So that being said, I think this is the match where, and again, titles are not on the line, obviously, because this is a 3-on-3. This is a match where the faces retain. Well, there's no championship on the line. The faces win, rather. But the Monday Night Raw, that's when they lose the titles. Trish goes back and Lita out of the picture for a little while. Maybe something going on at SummerSlam. I haven't thought that far ahead. But I just think it's the right move to end Damage Control here and go some sort of different direction, because these are great singles competitors in their own right. I want to see what Io Sky does on her own, selfishly. So I'm going to say the faces win here. It's going to be a great Mania moment. And then Raw is where Becky and Lita lose the titles.
To the winner of the WrestleMania Showcase match, right?
Yes, and I was gonna Kimmy, we're gonna be wrong on everything.
You know what? Maybe we should just never have Rob on a predictions panel ever again. I don't care that
it's my show.
I don't care.
Aren't you predicting?
I'm used to that story.
Aren't you guys having different predictions right now?
I was about to say.
Yes.
Rob said the face. Yeah. Rob
but
said
right, we I think our next match. Never mind.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right, though. You're right.
Okay.
Bill.
Oh man, I think this is one where the legends are going to go over for the Feel Good Mania moment. I feel like this is just Damage Control. When Becky Lynch just incinerated Bailey, saying you guys have never gotten over. You've done nothing since just show up and pop the crowd once. My words, not heard. I'm just like paraphrasing here, obviously. She's much more eloquent than I am. But I think it's time just to end Damage Control. It just really is. It didn't come into what it was supposed to be. And I just think they're going to have the faces go over. They like having legends there, so why not have them go over? It's not many. Trish and Lita don't have too many more Mania matches in them, I should say. So why not cash in and have them win? So I'm going to go Team Becky.
Amanda.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Team the Man here because again, I agree with Bill. I think this is gonna be one of those feel good moments of the night with especially with Lita and Trish. It was a feel good moment when Becky and Lita won the titles. That was a feel good moment because it's like, wow, like if I were Becky, I'd be like crying that I'm winning a title with Lita, and Lita is someone who I grew up with. Just loving. She's been one of my favorite female wrestlers for forever. And so, I think the feel good moment's going to happen here, but I feel like Damage Control, if they want to keep the faction together, honestly does need the win. But I feel like, they had their moment at SummerSlam last year. They just really haven't taken off. And there's so much talent between the three of them that, it started off energetic and fiery, and there was some promise there, and it just flatlined. And I think, I agree. I think it's time for Damage Control to do some damage control on themselves. I'm going to borrow Rob's fun here, and go back to being singles competitors. Everybody has the potential there. They don't need each other. anymore. Nobody's a newbie. I mean, they can go off and they can energize, whether, there's some combination that stays in a tag. They all go off and freshen up. I mean, Raw needs some more fresh people. So there you go. Give us some fresh competition. Give Rhea some new people. Give Rhea some new faces. Give maybe Asuka or Belair more people to face, I guess. But I feel like it's going to be Team the Man for that feel good moment, and we see the end of Damage Control.
Ella, agree with me.
I do. I mean, I see everyone else's points. I've seen people say that Io and Dakota should split away from Bayley, that they could do. I don't disagree with that. I think absolutely, like, Io Sky, Io Shirai has the potential to put on a banger with absolutely anybody. We haven't really seen Dakota Kai blossom truly by herself. She had those moments in NXT, but she was with Raquel for a while. She was in tag teams. So we haven't really seen Dakota Kai in full force besides her stuff with Tegan Nox during that period of time when she turned heel. So I don't know what a singles Dakota Kai is going to really look like. We saw Io Shirai soar it through NXT. So I don't doubt that she can handle that. I don't trust creative with Dakota Kai in singles right now. I'm sorry, Triple H. I just don't with her track record in that. But I don't think they're going to disband right now. I think, they've been on this losing streak. Bayley lost to Rhea. They dropped the titles. I don't think they're going to break up right now. So what better way to get themselves back on track than to get a win, get themselves major heat, and try and rebuild themselves. So I think we're going to get Damage Control victory here, whether it be because of a Trish Stratus heel turn. I don't know. People are saying the heel turn is probably going to be after Mania at some point. But there's always the possibility Trish Stratus could be the reason why Damage Control wins. And that still kind of protects Becky and Lita because they didn't lose cleanly. It's because Trish turned on them. I don't know. But I think Damage Control is going over. We'll see.
And from Hall of Famers to the next Hall of Famer on this card, we got a Hell in a Cell match for the first time since 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, WrestleMania 32. Shane McMahon and The Undertaker.
Oh. God. Yeah, that one.
It happened.
Yeah,
it happened. We have Edge versus Finn Balor, and for the love of God, this feud needs to end. It happened way too long, and I think Edge is definitely going to win this one. And I don't know what we're doing with Judgment Day after this, but they're going to do Judgment Day things with Rhea as champ. Ella.
I agree with you again. I've seen people make the case that, the Demon, when was the Demon out last? What match was that?
Right. Maybe. I'm lying.
The Fiend.
I think so.
Yeah.
And didn't he lose?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people were saying they want to restore the prestige to the Demon. I think that's kind of far gone at this point, personally. Like Kimmy said, I think this feud needs to end. Edge has been on the receiving end of the numbers game since the whole year, basically. He lost to Finn at Extreme Rules. Judgment Day eliminated him from the Royal Rumble. They've been going at it. Edge hasn't really had that, significant win. He hasn't had a single... I don't remember if they've had another singles match, but this needs to end. Edge is going to go over. And that's just how it's going to be, I think, personally.
They haven't had a singles match. I believe this is the first
before
one.
That. Well, no, I know they had Extreme Rules, but I didn't know if they had one before that or not.
No.
Okay. So yeah, this needs to end here. Let Edge move on to whatever he has after that, as he's kind of slowly wrapping his career up. Because this has been going on for a full calendar year with the Judgment Day. So I'm ready for something new.
Something new, something fresh. Oh, if only we could hope. Amanda?
I was firmly in the camp that Edge was going to win until they announced the Demon. And unless, and they're tossing around the idea of, the Brood Edge coming back in versus the Demon. And, it's Gangrel's going to show up and whatnot. because I do want this feud to end also. It has gone entirely too long. And, both Edge and Finn are too good to be, wasted, especially, Finn being at, I think, feel like the prime of his career at this point in terms of his in-ring ability and whatnot. I mean, he's at the peak shape. But, I feel like we're going to get something really cool from the Demon. I think they're going to try like to bring back that prestige, kind of maybe re-energize Finn. I think Finn needs the win here to make him relevant again, to put him back, in some kind of title contention. He's too good not to be, and it's about looking forward. It should be about looking forward, versus, and I love Edge. He was one of my favorite WWF/WWE people just growing up. He was the only blonde I've ever had a crush on. And in terms of, other than Chris Hemsworth, but that's okay.
It's fair.
But, it's fair. But, I feel like Edge is going to I think I'm going to go with Finn on this one. I think it's time to move Finn back into the title pictures, any title, IC, US, somewhere. He needs to get away from the Judgment Day. He needs to do his thing. He needs to be Finn Balor, bring the Demon back. I'm Camp Demon. I picked up that pop today and I finally found it. So there you go. It's time. So I'm going to go with Finn.
Phil.
It makes no sense for the Demon to come back. It really doesn't. This is, as one of Rob's favorite John Moxley phrases, it's a hat on a hat, because the Demon is a babyface gimmick. It's like everyone loves it. Like, there's no reason you would bring back something everyone loves if you're the heel. It makes no sense. It's just like, let's just keep adding stuff to make it matter, because I feel like this thing is just so lukewarm. I don't feel like people care. Edge feuds go on way too long.
Yeah, they do.
Like Ella, you were saying, like, he's just gotten his ass kicked. So it's just like, okay, where's the change? Even Beth Phoenix got beat up. Everything is just happening. And Edge is going to win here because I think it's the most sense. I'm sorry, they don't care about Finn Balor enough. Like, he had his run in NXT, his second run was good, but
then he got injured when they pulled the trigger. He unfortunately got injured.
Yeah, and so the first time around, he was the first Universal Champion for a day, and it's just like ever since then they were like, we have no confidence in this guy, but we have to keep him around, and so he's always just floating nebulously around, and I know Judgment Day is quote unquote over, but I don't know if they're over. Like, to me, it just feels like Rhea Ripley is over, and these are the boys who follow them, which is perfectly fine. But like, I don't feel like Finn's over. I think people they're gonna pop it. Like, I think a lot of things with WWE that isn't the bloodline, it's like they pop for the entrance, the finish, the music, and everything in between. They don't really care. So it's like, oh, it's cool, the Demon's back, yay! But like, if you're watching, it's like, what's the point? So I think Edge is going to win here. I don't think this Hell in a Cell, I don't know. Like, I don't love the fact it's a Hell in a Cell match, but it's just a thing. So Edge is going to win. I think this match will be perfectly good. I hope Finn has like the best match of his career in WWE. So people are like, oh God, we should get behind this guy. But I just think it's going to be Edge. And I think he'll either retire or he'll go into his next feud, and Finn will remain in the mid.
At least the Hell in a Cell is not red, and it is silver. That's a big win. Rob?
Yeah, lots to say here. I got 8 reasons why Finn's going to win this match, and it ain't just his abs. In the Cole...
that was horrible.
I'm going to count. Now I have to count the 8 reasons. Go.
It's not 8. It's funny, when we started talking about this in the chat on 2 separate channels, one person on YouTube and one person on Facebook both said the same thing at the same time. Judgment Day sweeps Mania. TJ Cole, welcome in on YouTube. New subscriber, says he loves the show. Thanks for watching. And on Facebook, and I miss this guy, I'm not going to lie, Mr. Perfect Mike Mueller at the same time saying Judgment Day sweeps as well. And I'm not going to go against Mike Mueller. I mean, that's another reason right there.
I beat him.
He's a betting
fair and square.
You did win the bet. Bet. That's why
he's a betting man. Let's see how well that went for him. He's not here. He isn't welcome.
Wow. Oh man, I hit.
Rob's also agreeing with you though, Kimmy. So you're contradicting yourself right now. Oh wait.
There's a lot
you.
A lot of heat on this podcast. But
it's hot. It's not quite demon hot though, guys. We're getting there though.
I mean, come
so
on.
much to say about this. I'll keep it short and sweet.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
The Hell in the Cell aspect makes sense to bring out the demon. If I'm putting on WrestleMania, I'm booking WrestleMania. Finn, you're wearing the makeup, you're coming out, the entrance is gonna be hot. Let's have a live band play out. Let's do the whole damn thing. I don't think Edge needs to win here. If you go back, the beginnings, the origins of Judgment Day was Edge being the leader of all these guys. In my mind, Edge wants to put over all these talents. He has been. This is WrestleMania, the grandest stage. It's a Hell in a Cell. It's up in the ante right there. He's the demon. It makes sense. I think the demon has only lost maybe once. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's just the one time.
I think it's just the one loss. Like you said, Amanda, the fact that it's the demon, I'll double down on this one. I think it's got to be Finn Balor for the win here and a possible Judgment Day sweep because that's what people are saying in the chat.
I'm
used to that.
This impassioned win, and Kimmy's just like, maybe.
It's because I said
she's like, hated it. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, it's mid. That was pretty mid, Rob. You copied everybody else. You can't think of an original thought.
He can.
Sometimes.
Well, we have 2 WrestleMania showcase matches. Don't really know what that means. Those are the tag team matches.
Fatal 4-way tag match.
Yeah, that's what they are.
I'm gonna say it's the polite way of saying they're filler, even though they shouldn't be. The tag team, as we've talked about, tag team division deserves so much more on both fronts, but it's a nice way of saying.
When you take a shit on someone, Amanda, you say it in the nicest way possible. That's why I love having you on the Socially Distant podcast, which drops every Friday.
Thank you.
Let's do this for Rob.
So I'm gonna assume that these are both like number 1 contender matches. They probably aren't, but I'm gonna assume they are. So let's talk about the women's first. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, my very good friend, Chelsea Green. Chelsea Mania, she made it. I'm so excited she's on this card. And Sonya Deville versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Please, any team but them win. And Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart. To be honest, as much as I would love Chelsea to win, I don't think she is. I think the money was really in Chelsea and Carmella's team, and it sucks that Carmella's out for this with a disclosed injury or whatever is going on over there.
Undisclosed injury. Yeah.
Okay, this is why you write things for me. And so I'm gonna go with the faces. Let Liv Morgan get her WrestleMania win. Finally, we talk about people who need one. She needs one. Rob.
To your point you made earlier, I'm not going to assume this is for the number 1 contendership, but I will say it feels like it needs some sort of stake, because it's just a showcase, it's like, hey, I'm glad all these, 8 ladies get a spot on Mania. Same thing for the men. There's 8 more people to get a spot on Mania to hear their music play and walk down that ramp. But what are the stakes? Like, obviously there's no story. It's a showcase. At least they're telling us, hey, you know what? Like, this is a showcase. It should have some sort of ramification in my mind. I think it's going to play out, like I said earlier, whatever team wins this match, Monday Night Raw, hey, we won this match. You're the champions. Like, we show that we're the best tag team out there out of all these teams. Obviously, it's us. Let's go. Okay, we accept. So not an official number 1 contendership there. I would love it to be Chelsea and Sonya. I think that would be really cool. Everything Chelsea has been doing is gold, but I also feel like she needs to lose so she can complain about it. So it just writes itself. So that story, let's just keep that going. I've been talking about Ronda and Shayna Baszler since seeing them at a house show 4 or 5 months ago when they started teaming them together at house shows. I like that. I think it's perfect for them. Again, not the biggest Ronda fan for several reasons. Big Shayna Baszler fan, though. That being said, I think this is the perfect spot for them storyline-wise. And who would take the titles off of Becky and Lita? I could see this being a strong team out of all the teams listed anyway. So I'll go for that reason, Ronda and Shayna Baszler.
With Ronda Rousey competing with a broken elbow.
She's
LJ.
Broken freaking elbow.
I don't want it to be Ronda at all. So I'm gonna put my faith in Raquel and Liv because they obviously have somewhat of faith, somewhat of a push in Raquel. She was slated to face Ronda for the title at Rumble. That obviously changed a little bit, but nonetheless, she got a title shot. Liv is still one of the hottest women that the crowd can get behind. I unfortunately think Chelsea's going to be the one to get pinned in this scenario. But again, like Rob said, that just makes for great TV and her complaining. So like, it's fine. I'm going to stick my faith with Liv and Raquel.
That's a smart choice. Bill.
Oh, man. The heart says you go with Liv because, listen, anyone who's just, I mean, the fact she's pissed they didn't use thumbtacks in her feud with Ronda, I'm just like, you know what? One, you should go to AEW where you can eat coast to coast and you'll be great, but that's just me saying that thing. But Liv has come a long way from just, and I really want her to get a win, so they stop saying like one of her traits is she's a WWE fan. It's just like, no, she's won a great WrestleMania match. So, like, let's have that instead. And I think she showed out at the Rumble and the finals, so put it on her. Like, give her the win with Raquel. Then they love Raquel, so make that happen. But man, the mind says,
yeah, I'm not listening to my mind on this one.
Yeah, the mind says that old leather jacket daddy in the back is going to say, put it on Shayna and Ronda. And I think it's Shayna and Ronda because you want to keep Ronda happy. She's bitching about creative. What way to help?
Bye.
I mean, yes.
Bye.
I was okay. Listen, I was a big surprise. If you listen to this podcast for years, I was like, when she left, I'm like, bring her back. She's pretty good in the ring. She came back, and it's just been awful. It's just been awful. But I just think they'll keep a last-ditch effort, especially if you're trying to sell the company, to have a name like Ronda Rousey in tow, in your lockdown. Keep her happy. Shayna will do all the work. She'll come in and like snap somebody's arm in half, and that's how it's going to be. And it'll be Chelsea, unfortunately. But listen, just don't injure Chelsea. Keep her safe.
I will be.
I would be mad because
mad.
How many times has her runs been cut short? And she works hard. She deserves.
And Chelsea has arm issues. Stay the F away from Chelsea.
That's what I mean.
Just pinfall. No submission. Leave her.
Does Ronda have
or if you're going to put the submission, Natalya is the submission queen. Yes. She can handle that, maneuver that. Just stay away from Chelsea's arm. Just
put her in a bubble. Just leave Chelsea alone.
Yeah.
But so it's Ronda and Shayna.
Amanda.
It pains you to say it too.
It pains me to say it, but Ronda has a name value. She has people still tune in for her, even though, again, this run, she's not been my favorite on this run. I feel like her heart's just not in it. That's the big thing for me, versus the first, kind of the first time she came in. She was full of energy. I remember seeing her live and all of that. But anyway, they're going to go with the name, brand value, the money. Where the money is, it's with Ronda still at this point. Although I really, really want Liv and Raquel. Of course, I'm biased about Raquel. We love her over here, obviously. And, just both of them are just awesome athletes. And I'm really hoping that the faith that they have in Raquel and even in Liv, that it pays off. Maybe we'll get something like that where it turns out to be them by some miracle. I hope so, but it's going to be Ronda and Baszler.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. It hurts my heart saying that. Raquel, I love you.
Well, for the men's, I don't think it's going to hurt you to pick a winner because we have Strowman and Ricochet, the Street Profits, Otis and Gable, and Eric and Ivar. And I think Otis and Gable, they need a win because, what's going to happen is Otis is going to go to Maximum Male Models, and then Gable's going to go on his singles run.
Why on God's green?
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully,
mm-hmm.
would the team that's going to break up fucking win? Like,
because
why are you going to win?
Because
it doesn't make sense.
Yes, but what do you always say when we do WWE predictions? WWE doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but I just think if you're going to do something, if you're literally splitting them up, it's like that's even dumb for them. Like, that's just like backwards booking. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
you're sacrificing these other teams that are actually, well, I mean, not necessarily, even though Strowman and Ricochet are still doing pretty good, but I mean, you're sacrificing 2 other actual tag teams for this. If you're
3.
Yeah, 3. I mean, yeah, against Strowman and Ricochet work well together, but yeah, I mean, you're sacrificing 3 teams for a team that's going to break up.
Yep.
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't vibe with that, Kimmy.
Oh, okay. Bill, pick your winner then.
Oh, I think it should be the Vikings because I think all the other teams should break up because none of them should be teams at this point. If you think the tag team division is just lame, break them up. Montez goes with Bianca. Dawkins is solid. Put him somewhere. He could definitely put on entertaining matches. You're breaking it. You're putting Otis in this dumbass maximum male models things. I know people love it. It's just like he'll be great in it. The rest of them, the bell rings, and you're like, oh, you guys are bad at wrestling. And then Strowman and Ricochet, they're just a makeshift team. Like have Strowman be the first guy Cody wrestles. Like he was Cody's buddy, he's on Cody's he's on Cody's shoulders, and then he could be, oh, Cody, you're my buddy, boom, beats the shit out of him, and then Cody's got his first giant he's got to slay. Ricochet could, my favorite Irishman, he can go do something else. He could go, go down to NXT and fight someone. He could do whatever. Like you can make something happen with these other guys, but the Vikings, you can't split them up because they're 2 Vikings and they have nothing else but that. So have them win, have them fight whomever. If it's Sammy and Kevin, fuck yeah, let's let them just beat the shit out of each other. It'll be great. They don't have to win, but the other guys are all going their separate ways, split everyone up. And that's the showcase. Let's showcase tag teams that are all going to break up except for the 2 big chunky white dudes.
Ella.
Profits.
That's it. No explanation.
I don't know. I was at the Rumble media scrum or like that whole weekend, and I just remember, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford doing that whole "we're going to Mania" thing. I mean, make it come true. I mean, they are going to Mania, but let them win at Mania. I do agree that each of them have the absolute capabilities to be single stars. We've seen that on full display. I just don't see WWE doing that right now. And if you guys, if we're picking a heel team to win the women's one, yeah, it hurts my heart to say, I don't want to recognize. But if we're picking a heel team to win the women's one, let a babyface team win the men's. And so Street Profits, they're so over. I think that the red solo cups just coming down as they win would be iconic if it's not during their entrance.
They got fired like 2 years ago.
I just want Profits. I think it could be the Viking Raiders, though, because the Viking Raiders, didn't they just get pinned on Monday? Were they the ones who got pinned? Yeah. So normally they do the thing where the people winning are actually the losing people going into it normally. So that could be it. But I think it should be Profits.
Amanda.
This is kind of tough because, I mean, obviously for me, the easy pick was not going to be Gable and Otis. Because again, they're getting ready to do their own separate thing. I feel like I'm kind of torn in 50-50 between the Profits and the Viking Raiders. I feel like it's gonna be one of the established teams kind of versus the more makeshift teams. I mean, no disrespect to, Gable and Otis, but it's going to be one of the safe. I mean, the Street Profits would be the feel-good choice to win, and obviously they're very, very skilled. I mean, I'm ready for them to do some singles stuff. As much as I love them together, I feel like both of them, and it's been teased a lot. So I think that's imminent. I just don't think it's going to happen here at WrestleMania. So, I mean, as much as I'm like 50-50, I think for people to really get energized and pumped, depending on their placement on the card, I think it's going to be Street Profits because it's going to get people with their win. It's going to get people like pumped up and just super excited and energized. And maybe it's like their last hurrah as a tag team. Maybe they break up, the Monday night right after,
when they lose, when they lose their tag shot.
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, I think again, their breakup is imminent. And we're going to see some good solo runs, especially Adam Montez in particular. Oh, it's going to be awesome. But yes, I think they're going to win it, and it's going to maybe be their last hurrah as a tag team.
Rob.
Yeah, this is one I really don't have a read on whatsoever. Again, I feel like there should be some sort of stake or number one contendership. Again, I'm going to copy what Ella said, but...
All right, you guys, the BCP rule. If Rob says he is copying someone's pick, take a drink.
I'm not going to paste, though.
I don't know when.
I'm going to take what she said, and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go the opposite way, actually.
Take two, then.
Oh, okay.
Take two.
I think... it is going to be one of the established teams. I thought for sure it was going to be Gable and Otis, but now that he's a little bit more Otis, I think that needs to play out, man. And I'm here for it, man. I don't care if it's cheesy. I think it's going to be gold. I am here for it.
He's my favorite male model.
Exactly. Yeah, it's money. I'm so here for it. I can't wait for that. So selfishly, I think Ricochet and Braun were thrown together for this match. So I don't see it again moving forward, nor do I see the point of that. I think it's going to be a heel team. I think it's so that we're going to go Viking Raiders. I have no read on this whatsoever. I think I'm going to go Viking Raiders, because they'll maybe pose a threat to whoever wins. I don't know. I'm really reaching here. They got Sarah Rowe, in their corner. Maybe that'll be some sort of factor or something like that. That being said, War Machine was one of the best tag teams I have ever seen in person, ever. And I would love to see them show up and show out. This could be a really good match as far as in-ring work. I'd love to see these guys just have their career revamped selfishly. I'm going to go Viking Raiders. I am not confident in my pick at all on this one.
I wouldn't be either if I were you. Just saying. Now, the next match is the match that should main event night one.
And if it doesn't... 3 matches left, is what I'm thinking.
1, 2... Well, Rollins, Mysterios, and main event.
Mysterios, I forgot. Okay. And the tag titles.
Well, that's what I was getting. I was getting there, and then you cut off, and then I got really upset. Thanks, Ella.
Sorry.
But she's your sidekick, though, so she should.
She changed her name.
I changed it right after you introduced
the Force has said she's still the sidekick, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not the sidekick you're looking for. Kimmy, what match we got?
It's what should be the main event of night one. It's Owen. Or what did they do? They did KO Mania and WrestleZania. Is that what they're calling it? That's what the t-shirt says.
Right? Yeah.
It should be the Wild Sam Owens.
God damn. It's got it.
I love it.
That's got it. That's great. That's great. Shit. That's awesome.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Oh, fuck. That would sell so much.
Just like the shirt's going to sell.
If you do,
tomorrow.
I'll take one. If you do, I'll take one.
I can't take credit for that. I heard it somewhere else, but I thought it was brilliant.
Listen. I don't know who you got it from. I'll give you credit for it.
So if Zayn and Owen don't win, what's the point?
Oh, they're winning.
This is their Oh, can I get there? This is the one title that eludes Owens of being a Grand Slam, and he's gonna win it with his best friend in the WrestleMania main event. He's gonna main event Mania 2 years in a row because he main evented last year. So Zayn and Owens will win. Ella, do you also agree?
Well, yeah, this is the fall of the bloodline. These guys are going to open night 2, lose the titles, and Roman's going to close night 2 by losing his title. I rest my case.
That's
pretty fucking good.
Amanda.
Oh, yeah, no, this is the time. I mean, with Sammy's buildup, it'd be for nothing if they didn't win. Like, for nothing. And no, you can't ruin. Again, thank God for Cody, and we're going to go there. But before Cody, cut the fire promo and all of that, I was one of those that was not happy that, Sami Zayn was like, bye-bye out of the main event picture, because it was like, you did this build up for nothing. Again, I'm good with where we're at now, but again, I know we'll jump to that match. but they have to win it here. They have to win it here. If not, you will negate everything that you did over the last year. So I'm going Wild Sam Owens. I'm going there.
Rob?
Real quick in the chat, TJ saying KO turns on Sammy. Interesting. Mueller in the chat saying the problem with Owen Zayn headlining night one is you are ending on the same note back-to-back nights. We'll definitely see what we think about that.
What a wild,
which is why they're opening night too.
Wait, so a jubilant celebration. Mike Mueller, owner of a resplendent beard. Why don't you want to send people home happy 2 nights in a row? Did we everyone got to cry night one just to be happy night two?
Always a heel there.
Well, we know he is. Come on.
I mean, we've cried a lot over this time as WWE fans. Darn it, let me go home happy.
Yeah, that's right. And the word we use a lot on this podcast and throughout this past year has been storytelling.
It's vicious.
There it is. When it comes to the bloodline, particularly, I mentioned I was going to use the term consolation prize, and Sammy, even before this was a home run, like Sammy doesn't get enough credit for what he did with that Jackass match. He doesn't get enough credit for starting this where he said, hey, you know what? If I win the Money in the Bank, I'm going to protect Roman, because that's how this all kind of started. It was the little things, man. Brilliant. Against the grain. I love stuff that's just like not the cardboard cutout, like stuff we're used to. This person's going to turn. This is going to happen. This is very different kind of stuff. And the acting alone, there's a lot of like Emmy jokes people are making, but just like the moments, the watery eyes, the tension. And it wasn't like we, had any turns too soon or anything like that. We really built those moments, the moments where Sammy was in the ring with Roman. It's been so good. Sammy really is one of, if not the MVP here. Don't forget, Cody was out for a lot of time. Bill may or may not be frozen right now. Oh no, you're just handsome. Okay. Just checking. But
cut him a jib.
It has to be KO and Sammy, and this is almost a consolation prize for Sami Zayn, I feel. But I think the moment for the two of them in LA, they talked about how much that city meant to them. Technically not in LA, but that being said, yeah, I think it's just going to be an emotional moment for them. It's going to be worth all this, and it's going to be a really, really special moment. If anyone's going to dethrone the Usos, it has to be Sami Zayn and whoever, because he's earned that. That being said, love Kevin Owens. I mean, I think we're all on the same page here. Big win, special moment. I'm expecting some tears, maybe some tears over at the BCP compound. We'll see.
That'd be pretty sad. Bill?
I mean, it wouldn't be pretty sad. We can get it. We love pro wrestling here. You get up caught in the emotion, the drama. How can you not? How can you not get romantic about pro wrestling? Come on. So listen, here's what I want to happen in this match. Yes, I want KO and Sami Zayn to win. I've been watching these guys since they were Canadian imports in fucking Jersey All Pro Wrestling in 2005, Rahway, New Jersey. It was awesome. What I want to see is both teams punch out the refs. Any ref that comes in, they knock them out. We get ladders, we get tables, we get plunder, we get violence, because this is a violent feud. And I know we don't do blood, but maybe they make an exception in this show. But like, I just want to see these guys, because I also feel like the Usos, the 1D, it's the fucking Dudley Death Drop, and it annoys the piss out of me that people say it's a great finisher, because I mean, it's like you just took the same goddamn finisher and just renamed it. It's not great. I liked the double splash, although it was better, but whatever. Not the point. I want to see the Usos go to a level of violence we haven't seen them do. They are very smooth. They're very slick. They're very talented. I want to see you guys beat the shit out of each other. This is what I want. I want a physical, intense match, and I think we're going to get it. Like, this is where KO and Generico came out. They're going to ball out. They're going to put everything on the table. I'm predicting and hoping to God Sammy does the top turnbuckle brain buster, because that will just stun people forever. KO and Sammy, 100%, they're winning this match. If they don't, I don't know. The dude in the back's got to hang up the leather jacket, because he doesn't deserve to book anymore, because this is just a moment you need to have.
Now, in what some would call the Rob dream match, it is Rey versus Dominic, because he has said for years, he was like, when's Rey and Dominic going to happen? When's Rey and Dominic? Well, Rob, here you go. Here's your moment. It's happening. Here we go. I'm going to go to you first. Well, first, I have 2 questions for you. 1, is Rey going to retire after this match? And 2, who's winning?
I already know I'm getting yelled at. I think, and I've said this the past couple years, I felt that when they won the titles, it shouldn't have been on SmackDown. We've gone over that. I talk about that moment with him and his son doing the double 619 on Brock. Just the crowd volume and pop on that was insane. But for a dad and son, this is going to be a very special moment. Take all the story out of it. It should be a good match, man. I think just because the chemistry, him and I think Lance Storm trained Dominic.
He did.
I think it's going to be really fun and really great. And I think, again, this is another one that comes back to storytelling where it was done mostly outside of the ring and the little social media videos and ruining the holidays. And we also have the Hall of Fame. And, it's been said both ways where it's like, hey, you know what, you keep Dominic, and this was on Busted Open, so this is not my idea, but you keep Dominic away from that Hall of Fame ceremony unless you're working an angle that straight up interrupts Rey and does that whole thing, which could very well happen. But if he's there in the crowd and he sheds a tear, Angle's dead on impact. You really got to be careful with how you do this, and I think they're gonna do something clever this weekend, whether it's at the Hall of Fame, but definitely, Kimmy's at a restaurant, Rey Mysterio's there, Dominic's gonna come interrupt you guys over in LA. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have another wrestler special like they did on Raw. But in all seriousness, I think they're gonna go to war in the ring. I think it's going to be a really good match, and say what you will about Dominic. I know Bill and a lot of other people have been critical of his in-ring work. I think he's going to be in there with his dad. I think that's going to be really, really cool. I've said this before in the past. This is where I'm going to get yelled at. But does anyone see the moment where, he's going to put his kid over? That's been his job the past couple years. But they go to war. Maybe there's an emotional moment afterwards. Does anyone think, and maybe Ray's my guy, Bill, I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Where he lays
the mask
mask.
comes off.
No, he has to lose it.
Oh.
He did it once.
Lose it in battle, you mean?
He has to put it on the line, which he hasn't done. And I mean, if they're going with strict Mexican tradition,
that's what I'm asking. So
he has to put it on the line. He's already given a mask to Santos. So
that was more like a jersey swap. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, he didn't, he didn't take it off and give it to him.
I think, but didn't when Ray's uncle gave him the mask, was that?
No.
That was just off camera, kind of. That wasn't like a.
He's like, this is my nephew. Right. You know what I mean? So he didn't do that. So it's essentially Rey lost it in WCW is a huge issue.
Well, that's yeah.
And so since then, he's like very much like doesn't want to do it. He doesn't show his face in Instagram posts, so it's very sacred again for him. And so I don't think he takes the mask off at all. I think this is Rey Mysterio unless he loses it. He's not going to do that. But also part of the tradition is he has to state his name, his real name. He's no longer Rey Mysterio. He's like, my name is blah, blah, blah from here. This is who I am, in revealing his identity. And I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the WWE world, I don't know if that's how it would play out. You don't think it's like an emotional moment? Like, no. Here it is. Like, there's no story. Because, again, it's more emotional if you don't know it's coming. But that being said, if anyone's going to don the mask after Rey, it would be his kid. It's just a matter of when, in my mind. No?
No.
Wow.
Not anytime soon. He would have to do a mega babyface turn, and he is good at being a heel right now, and people like him. I'm in the minority of people who I'm just ambivalent. So people like him as a heel. It doesn't make sense to put it on him unless it's way down the road. He has to reunite with his dad. Like, there has to be a lot of storytelling to get him. He just can't throw it on one day.
That and the skill.
Yeah.
The skill level, it has to be there too. If you're going to put a lucha mask on, you need the skill to back it up, because you have not only the Mysterio name, but there are so many good luchadores out there right now. And to put a mask on, you're basically saying, I'm at your level. He's not there.
Fair point. I
didn't mean to interrupt.
But. No, that's a great point. I appreciate
better than anyone.
That perspective. You're a lot closer geographically to that area than we are, so you're welcome to weigh in. I think that's a great point. and that begs the other question, like you guys were saying earlier, is Rey done? I'm not saying he is or isn't. He's one of my favorites. I hope he's not, but maybe I'm thinking more moments in terms of just the match. But in either case, I think Dom wins here.
Hello.
Dom wins with the help of Damian Priest, and no, I don't think Rey is done yet.
Not the help of Priest. Damn. He's the only member that doesn't have a match. Hoo hoo hoo.
Exactly why he's going to be out there with Dominic.
Bill.
Well, Ella brings up a very good point. Not surprisingly so. I wonder if that means Rey's old buddy Conan gets involved to try and help. He comes down to try and equalize Damian Priest, and he just might. But the one person he can't equalize, because I could see Damian Priest he's a wrestling fan through and through. He will take a bump for Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone would, But I could easily see Rhea Ripley coming out and she trucks Conan, and he's equalized, and I think she helps Rey and she helps Dominic win. Yikes! I've called Dominic Eric Watts, and I stand by it. I don't think Dominic's good. I think in the ring, this dude needed to go to NXT. He needed more training. I give him credit for the Brock Lesnar stuff. That was all cool and stuff. Has he improved? Sure. But man, it just doesn't do it for me. Like, Rey is going to have to carry the shit out of this match to make it good. Because I think Dominic's got the basics down, and I think that's where it ends. And I think Rey is going to have to pull the match of his lifetime to make this great. And I think he still has it in the tank to do it. Do I think Rey retires after this? I think Rey goes away for a while after this. I think you're not going to see him on TV until much later for something else. Or if they do keep him around, he's going to team with Santos Escobar and work with those guys against Judgment Day. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, Dom's going to win here. He is like Triple H's pet project. Again, I'm sorry. It does zero for me. This character, he needs to. That's it.
Yes. Person raising
I
hands.
just wanted to be polite. I didn't want to interrupt. TJ in the chat, I thought this is an interesting point. Look for a Bad Bunny appearance, setting up Bad Bunny and Rey versus Dom and Priest in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense.
If it's not Priest and Cody, which has also been rumored the last couple of weeks, I think
this is the first I'm hearing of that.
I've not heard that.
What, the show in Puerto Rico?
Kimmy
yeah, I was like,
I'm
huh?
kidding.
No, there's.
Oh yeah.
What?
I'll go. No, Ella was saying that she never heard it, and I was making up the rumor with Cody and Damian. Go ahead. Weren't you saying something, Bill?
No, I wasn't. All I was saying was, yes, there's a premium live event going to happen in Puerto Rico. That's it.
Yes, beginning of May. I think Dominic's winning, and Rey's going to go away till Survivor Series. Amanda?
I think Dominic's going to win it. I wondered if Rey was going to announce his retirement like Monday, like after, because what a way to go out, right? You put your that's like your, I guess like that'd be like a cool parent dream, like you wrestle your kid and you hope that it goes well. But I feel like we're going to get a little something here, a little excuse me.
Her contract's not until July.
It's not up yet? Dang it. I was like, because I'm like, man.
I think she ends up going with Austin Theory if she does, to be honest with you.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Okay. But anyway, Dominic's going to win here. He's going to win with help. The optimistic part of me is like, maybe he'll show off that he's been training. It might work. But I'm in the same boat to an extent as Bill. Like, I feel like, Dominic has still a lot left to be desired in terms of wrestling ability, in terms of his promo skills. Rhea's backed him up a lot. And I really think even the social media, and the way that they've put out vignettes and promos and whatnot, that's played to his strengths. Whereas if you hear him cut a live promo or whatnot, he still struggles to get through that. And it's hard. I do feel for him because you're Rey Mysterio's son. You're shouldering that on you as with one of the greatest luchadors of all time, in my opinion, one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time. It's Rey Mysterio, and you come in with the Mysterio name. It's tough. It's tough, and I give him a lot of credit. He's doing the best he can with the skills he has, but he still has some ways to go. and especially with the caliber of talent that WWE has, just in general on their roster. It's a stiff competition out there, but I think Dominic's going to come out with the win. He's going to have help from Judgment Day. And, but I don't think it's the last we're going to see of Rey. I think Rey still has, look at the level he's competing at his age. I can barely get up without hurting my back sometimes, like younger than he is. And it's like, man, he's competing at a level that, some 20 somethings can't even do at this point. So kudos to Rey Mysterio for that. And I think as long as Rey has enough gas in the tank, he's going to go as long as he feels like he can go. And I think he'll finish up his career right before he gets to the point where he's like, I can't do a 619 anymore, or I can't do this anymore. I know my limit. And he's getting there. He's starting to know what his limits are. But
Amanda, those luchadors, man, they'll go to their 70s, man.
And that's why I feel like he could go all the way to his 70s. So, but I also think Rey's, he's had a lot of knee injuries. We've seen him, he's been in a brace from a young age. But I also think hopefully he's in a better position to, I think, say, hey, or have people tell him you're good. You need to slow it down. But I think Rey's not done yet. No.
You know who else isn't done yet? Seth Rollins.
I was about to say, Kimmy perked up here.
All of a sudden, Kimmy's heart went a flutter.
Because, big old grin.
Because he's in a really bad match. Because he shouldn't be versing Logan Paul. Because this is really stupid. Because then Logan Paul's going to beat Seth Rollins. But I don't want that to happen. Because Seth Rollins has lost the past 4 WrestleManias. And that's not fair.
To who?
To me.
All right. Just wanted to make sure it was to you.
It's not fair to me. Because some people have to sit at SoFi Stadium Saturday and watch Logan Paul beat Seth Rollins. Isn't that ridiculous?
Not really.
You're going to SoFi Stadium. I heard it's beautiful. Congrats. I'll be in New Jersey. It'll be raining. So, I don't know, Kimmy. I'll disagree with you. Listen, Logan Paul.
I was picking Rollins anyway.
No shit. But it's just it's you're picking Rollins. I have gray hair. These are things we know. We can see this. These are very apparent things. I don't think this is going to be a bad match. Logan Paul is a representative of the human race. Maybe I'm not on board with that. As a in-ring competitor, he ain't bad, man. He's shown he can go, and he's willing to put the work in. And talk about a guy who's had very few matches, went against Roman Reigns and put on a pretty decent match. He said 4 matches, and he's better than a guy we just talked about who's been doing this for years. So, I think this is going to be really entertaining. He said his contract is up the day after Mania, which I don't believe. I believe he will have signed a new contract, but I think Logan Paul's going to win because you have to do. What does it do for Seth Rollins to win?
Give him something to do.
No, it does nothing for him because it's okay, cool. You beat the celebrity. I think we have to have him go full nuts or break or do something. There has to be a radical change with Seth Rollins because this character, this faux Joker character he's doing, I've told you this for years. It makes no fucking sense. It's just look at me. I'm laughing. I'm dancing. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. Who cares? I want to see Seth Rollins come back and be I want the title. I want to beat Cody Rhodes. I want him to just go full fury against Cody Rhodes because if you read that interview that Cody gave the other day, they almost got into a backstage brawl. Whether this was 5 years ago or this was 5 months ago, I don't know. And I don't want to know. I want them to lie. I want them to tell me it was 2 weeks ago they almost got into a fight. Because you know what? As we just saw the ratings for AEW All Access, drama fucking sells matches. So let's go. Let's have these two guys have the match they wanted. Have the feud. I want to see serious Seth Rollins again. I want to see a guy who's cerebral. A guy who's going to troll Roman Reigns. And should have had a rematch against him. Give me something. I want a reason for Seth Rollins to change his character from whatever this thing is to something good. Because Seth Rollins is a great professional wrestler, and he's just throwing shit at the wall to see what happens. So Logan Paul will win here. WWE will re-sign him for a lot of money. He will be another flashy name for the sale. And then give me Seth Rollins the wrestler, not Seth Rollins the goofball, because it doesn't make any sense to me. So
Rob.
Logan Paul.
Ooh. Ew. Bad. Rob.
I'll keep it short and sweet. In the chat, real quick, a lot of people saying I feel like Seth always loses at Mania.
He does. He's lost
So did
past 4
Sasha
times.
Banks.
Yeah, Sasha too. Yeah, for sure.
So did Asuka.
People saying no way Seth loses this time. It's
Damn
interesting.
right.
It's interesting. I'm not thrilled about this match either. Kimmy, I feel like Seth deserves a better match. I feel like Seth feels he deserves a better match. That being said, after all this guy has done over the past 5 years, at least carrying Raw on his back, carrying a lot of this product on his back, being a top guy, we always talk about the celebrities not losing at Mania. And you were so right about that, Kimmy. I'm not afraid to admit when I was wrong. I picked against a lot of celebrities last time, and they always win. They always win. But I can't pick Logan Paul. I just can't do it. Seth deserves so much. And I'm not even a Seth Rollins guy, but Seth Rollins deserves so much better. Give him the win here. Don't make him lose to Logan Paul.
Seth is going to win because he's gotten beat up every single week on Raw, and he's got zero momentum at all going into this match, and he's going to get the big win at WrestleMania. And then he's going to be Cody's first challenger at some point. Ella.
I agree with Bill.
Hey, all right. Sorry.
I get your frustration, he's lost, but like I said, so has Sasha Banks. So has Sasha Banks. That has not diminished her star value at all. She was still looked at as one of the top people carrying the promotions. Like Rob says, Rollins has been carrying Raw on his back despite the losses. The crowd is super behind him. His U.S. title reign was only 3 weeks long. The crowd was still invested in him. I get it. I get your frustration with that. I don't necessarily think he needs it. He's going to be okay no matter what. The crowd is still going to love him, sing his song. It is also Logan Paul's birthday. Logan Paul is also a celebrity. So I think that Logan Paul is going to win this. I think this is going to be a really fun and exciting match. And like Bill said, Logan Paul, the person, not personally a fan of, but Logan Paul in the ring, I think these two are going to pull out some really cool, high-flying, high-energy stuff. And then maybe after Logan Paul wins, maybe Rollins just smashes some birthday cake in his face to appease the crowd. So even though he loses. So I can see them doing that angle. I just don't see a world where Logan Paul loses in this match, personally.
I can. You want to know what that world is called? The
Biasy.
Kimmy Dream World. No, the Kimmy Dream World. It's a great world to live in, by the way. Everything I ever wanted happens there.
It's just all Daniel Garcia versus Seth Rollins matches. That's the only match on every wrestling show.
I proposed earlier that, like I said, birthday cake, Rollins just smashes his face into a birthday cake with a stomp. That would appease Kimmy, I think, at the very least.
I mean, now I want cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cake is good. Cake is yummy. Amanda?
Tiebreaker.
Oh, man. This is tough because I feel like, little Seth Rivas over here has obviously picked Seth Rollins. I am on the fence because, I really want Seth to win. I don't like Logan Paul as a person. I am the first people to say that. I don't like him. As somebody who's put in the work to wrestle, I do respect that. For anybody but Logan Paul with that ability, that'd be great. But it's tough because it's Logan Paul. There's a lot of money that's been thrown into him. His matches get views. He draws eyes to the product, as controversial as he is. And again, he's created some moments. And I think we are, again, like everybody said here, we're going to see some cool moments come out of this match. We're going to get the buzzworthy, the media. This is where the social media is going to be all over. You're going to get those iconic moments that are going to show up on TikTok for forever, or whatever streaming platform it is at that point. But I just, as much as I want Seth Rollins to have more, and I feel like he could use this win to help push him a little bit more, I think Logan's going to pull it. It's just, there's too much money behind Logan Paul. He's got too much eyes on him, and he creates a lot of interest. And I feel like Seth does need a reinvention. I do enjoy the fashion. some of it. So he's got some interesting fashion choices. And some of the ring gear he's come out in has been pretty cool looking. But I feel like I do miss, like Bill said, I do miss the old school, like the hungry Seth Rollins, the dangerous Seth Rollins, the guy who cashed in on Mania, like the clever, the cash in, that Seth Rollins, the blonde, even though people didn't like the blonde streak, at least blonde streak Seth Rollins was clever. Mastermind Seth Rollins. And I miss that. I miss that energy. And I feel like the work needs to go in, have him come out as a monster heel to go up against Cody. I mean, he's one of the few people that can. He's one of the few people that can really give Cody Rhodes a run like we've seen before. Or, have him be or if you're going to really keep him baby, have him be the face of the other. Because, I mean, from what we're hearing, Roman may step away. Somebody has to fill that void. And so, who better than Seth Rollins? People love him, hate him. He's always going to be in people's minds because he's just as iconic as, Moxley and as Roman. I mean, they're it. They're the elite, if you will. And them, whether it's the Shield or through their own individual endeavors. I think Seth Rollins has the potential to be back on the top, and he needs to be. He's main event caliber. He needs to be back there. So, but I still think it's going to be Logan Paul. But I miss Seth Rollins, vicious Seth Rollins in the main event.
One terrible thing popped into my mind. You can't rule out his brother coming out. Can't rule out Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And listen.
Miz invited.
Guys, I don't want this. But WWE has stadiums to fill. If Roman's going away, you're hoping that Cody's going to be the guy to carry him. You don't have that many legends left that you can milk. Jake Paul, he sells out stadiums, and the Paul brothers against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. You tell me that wouldn't sell some tickets, move some units. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, that would move. I mean,
I would love to see Roman and Seth kick the crap out of them, though. That would be
exactly great. Why they should book it, and I think it wouldn't be shocked if it happens, and that's why Seth's going to lose.
Now I'm sad. Thanks, everybody.
I mean, I am not happy about it.
No.
Well, we're at the point Rob doesn't have to yell because I actually remembered every single match on the card. Because again, notebook.
Yay.
Organized.
Wait, I thought you left all your notes in Staten Island.
I did. I have 2 notebooks. This is another notebook I have. I rewrote them all. I listened to your advice you gave me 4 hours ago when I was freaking out that I forgot my notes across the country in Staten Island. But we have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story. He's going to his WrestleMania moment and make his brother and his dad so very proud. Ella.
You pretty much said everything I was going to say. Cody better. Can we swear on here, Rob?
You may.
Yeah.
I've sworn 150 times.
Cody better fucking go over here. And Cody will fucking go over here. He will finish this story. Roman Reigns will go away for a long time. And I could not be more thrilled. That's all I have to say.
Phil.
If Cody doesn't bleed in this match, what in the actual fuck are we doing here? I know it's the WWE and Mattel and toys and whatever. No, this motherfucker should be coast to coast bleeding. I want the crimson mask. Like, I want to see that because that's going to sell the story. That's the drama there. Roman doesn't have to bleed. But
there's no stipulation on this match besides the title.
No, I'm just saying.
To be fair, that hasn't stopped Moxley, but go on.
Yeah, listen, it's just it's one of his last vices. Let's just let the man have it, I guess. But Cody, like, come on, we just have him some blood to tell the story. That's what he does. He's always done that when he was in AEW, he was at Ring of Honor. There's always some blood in there. And I want to see this match, and I want Roman to get out of the first gear sooner and stop just talking. Do a little clubbering, talk some shit. Do a little clubbering, talk some shit. No, fucking fight. Just get in there and let's just see these two guys go. I don't need a 30-minute match at 20 miles an hour and then they go to 60 in the last 5 minutes. I want to see violence and chaos and drama in this match, and I really think we will get it. If Cody Rhodes doesn't get it, WWE is so, what are you doing?
The only reason Cody loses is to get to Roman to 1,000 days. That's straight up the only
and how many
reason.
And does he have to do another
2 more
year?
months.
2 more months.
That's 2 more months. That would lead him to the end of King of the Ring. I think by Mania it'd be 946 days.
But he's never going to beat the full record of Bruno, so it's just like at that point, it's. But
I can see them being petty and wanting to get to 1,000 days.
and then what does Cody do? I mean,
I don't fucking know.
Oh no, that's what I mean. It's just like what are we doing here? Who's going to beat him? Does it even matter at that point? And you've derailed Cody. Cody should just go back to Jacksonville at that point because you've got nothing to do. There's nothing for you here anymore if he does not win this match. Because what's he going to do? He's going to feud over the U.S. title. You slotted him in to have the biggest win of his life. He loses that match. Go away, retire, do reality TV with Brandy.
That's who John Cena's gonna lose the U.S. title to is Cody Rhodes.
That would suck so much. But I'm saying, like, if he loses, it's just game over for him. And Cody should definitely win. And then I think the bloodline will fall apart. We'll get some sort of ancillary Roman and one of the Uso probably feuding, and then Roman goes away. Like WrestleMania Backlash, which is the dumbest fucking name ever. Just go and do that, and then
it's actually just Backlash this year.
Yeah, it's just Backlash.
Thank God.
Amanda.
Oh,
I've gone back and forth. I know. I love my tribal chief. That's he's
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon knows this already. I have a type. It's the long hair and the beard. Yeah, as long as I'm like Cody can bleed, but just don't cut my man's face. Yeah.
You even like the fake chompers too?
I got used to it. I miss his original teeth. I do. I liked him with his original teeth, but but here we are. I can get used to it. It's fine. But, I just feel like WWE has written themselves in a corner because you took the only other contender that could have made sense to take the title off Roman out of the picture. You took Sami Zayn out. You have no backup. And, there's nobody else that can challenge Roman at this point. There's no one. Hey, but I'm going to lower the TV. Sorry about that. My son just decided to turn on the TV over there. So here we go. It's all good.
There is one person, if they get cleared in time, that was originally Plan A last year. And I know Bill's not going to like that.
This is true.
But to be fair, Randy Orton was Plan A last year at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Or actually, he was Plan B. Cody was Plan A. Randy was Plan B. Brock was Plan C, actually.
Yeah, that's the only thing that could save them, though. I agree with that. Randy's he's the star power. And again, the return.
Not Cody.
Yeah, but you've spent all of this time.
Yeah. He just looks like a retired cop now. I mean, don't put it on him.
Somebody posted a picture, I think, of him the other day. Well, of the other day where he looks kind of jacked there, So, but you never know. But but I feel like from a storytelling perspective, you went from making me not jump off you went from appeasing me about Sami Zayn not getting the title to Cody cutting these fire promos and making it very personal and having all the storytelling. The promos have been great. And I didn't think I could get over Sami Zayn, like that. And it Cody made me care the way that everything was written. And so for that not to come to culmination would be awful. But Roman is not at 1,000 days. And I wondered about that too. I mean, again, but I think people would be unhappy, if he cheats, obviously understatement of the year, but you'd have some feud, you'd have some angry people if Roman wins by cheating again.
I would literally
walk out.
Dive off.
Yeah, people would walk out. They can't rely on that anymore unless again you bring back Randy Orton. But I don't even think that would be enough.
No.
I don't think it would be enough as much as people love Randy, or you bring out The Rock, but even then
I feel like that time has passed.
Yeah. So, I mean, as much as I hate going against my man, he's done a great, I think he's done a great job, at least keeping people interested in the bloodline storyline. And of course, going from Suffer and Succotash to here we are. Yeah, I know. He was always the world's most articulate, but look how far we've come. We've come together.
I'll give him credit there, yeah.
I give him credit. I give Roman a lot of credit. And of course, working with Paul Heyman, I mean, this has just been a beautifully done storyline. So, I mean, it has to pay off. It has to. So I'm going to go with Cody, because if not, I don't know what else WWE cannot fix. It's going to trash everything that it's worked on for over a year. So it's got to be Cody.
Rob, are we
Sorry,
actually
Roman.
all going 5-0?
I think we are.
Real quick, a lot of good stuff in the chat. A lot of people are saying, hey, Roman going for that 1,000 days. A lot of people saying Cody's story is that of the underdog, trying to finish the story. If he wins, then what? A lot of people saying The Rock's daughter debuts Mania weekend. There's no way he's not in town. Interesting point. I'll give you that one. A lot of Rock stuff coming in here. A lot of Orton stuff coming in here. Real quick, starting with Roman. If Roman wins, I wouldn't hate it. I think the wrestling fan of me would love the swerve and love the build. I've said so many times on this podcast that I wanted to see, outside of the injury, Cody face a little bit more adversity.
Oh my God. Do you want me to have a stroke on this podcast? Every time you fucking bring up this struggle of Cody Rhodes, his whole story, he's laid it out for you. He said, I was here. You didn't care about me. I left. I went and built the other company. Then he comes back. I got to do the one thing my dad never did. My brother never did. Wow. What, do we have to shoot the guy in the fucking leg to make him struggle? Jesus, jumping dicks, Rob. Well, what do you want? Did you want the same old bullshit you get from, oh, he's going to lose his spot at Mania because we've done that 25 times. You do that because the guy who won it that one year when it was the triple threat, at the Garden, they did that because they didn't believe in him. They believe in Cody Rhodes. Oh, yeah. What more struggle do you want? You want him to have him lose 67 matches in a row, then he can win it? You've completely devalued the guy. They are eating out of this guy's fucking hand.
Oh, yeah.
Put the belt on him. There's no need for a struggle. This is like, when you say this, I want to kiss you on the forehead and then punch you in the penis, because it makes no sense.
There's so much I want to add. I'm going to add to my vocabulary just for your sentences, Bill. I love it.
I'm sorry.
Seth can't hear us, right?
Yeah. No, he can't. Good. He's fine.
And I have a lot more to say. I'm kind of looking at it from both sides. And you bring up great points. I agree with you, man, especially from his earlier days. I was kind of talking from essentially a year ago where he returned, and that return and that pop is a big part of where he is. Who knows what his deal was coming back. I think those are all really great points. For me, me and Vac were always saying, like, hey, like, we wanted to see him kind of like try to win the Money in the Bank, and he doesn't. So close to winning the Royal Rumble, and he doesn't, kind of a thing. Obviously, and Warren said this on his show, the time he was out with the injury was actually a blessing in disguise, because how do you tell this story for a year? Everything for Cody has worked out really, really great. He was number 30 in the Rumble. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yes.
He was. So right there, boom, last one in the chosen one. I would appreciate the swerve as a fan. That being said, Bill, everything you said, you are 100% right. I work with kids, and they talk about how Cody is just, he's like the new Cena, man. Cody's for the kids, man. It is crazy. Like those plush, belts, they sold out right away on the shop. They were like $25 on the shop. They're $40 at the live events. I was at a house show, small house show, smaller arena. Soon as Cody came out, place erupted, blew the lid off this small venue. This isn't even an arena. Like, Cody has it. If I'm a businessman, the money is in Cody right now. I'm making the new t-shirt when he wins. Cody goes out the next day on Monday Night Raw, and he says, hey, you know what? The first guy I'm going to let challenge me for my title, Sami Zayn. That whole kind of thing, it connects everything. It makes so much sense to put on Cody. I say don't get cute with this. He is the guy, the whole finish, the story thing. It's written in the stars. If I'm Papa H, if I'm Triple H, this is my rookie year. This is my debut. This is the cherry on top. It makes so much sense. In a perfect world, a lot of Rock in the chat. Rock is the one that costs Roman, that creates that tension. I don't think that's going to happen here, but never say never. And Cody deserves it. He's coming out with a belt representing all these independent companies, some that Amanda knows and has worked for, some that I have worked for. It's very, very cool. He has always been such a huge proponent of the independent talent. I can't say enough reasons why he deserves this win. It has to be Cody, but I'll have to think twice about it, but it's the best business move for it to be Cody.
Well, I mean, with WWE trying to sell within the next couple of weeks, I think they'd want a smart business move, Rob. I mean, common sense. Yeah, money. That's what we all do this for, right? Money. And hey, am I wrong?
No comment.
Want to see my bank account?
Okay, well. Anyway, so that concludes our WrestleMania predictions. But on the BCP, we always do a shameless promo, so we get to find out what everyone else does. That's really cool. Yay! Ella, tell everyone the 100 million things that you do.
I'm not, because I work in the morning. So you can follow me on Twitter at It's Ella J. If you go to the link in my bio, all my links to all my podcasts and projects are all there in one convenient place for you.
Wow, I was really just trying to like put you over. Unbelievable. Amanda, tell us about the Socially Distance podcast.
Well, I am a co-host for the Socially Distance podcast. I am the human Star Wars encyclopedia, so big Star Wars nerd. We are covering Mando, so tune in Fridays, as Bill has mentioned. We drop our new episodes, and we cover all kinds of cool nerd randomness. But this go around, we are taking a journey with Papa Pedro Pascal and our adorable sweet baby boy Grogu. So more to come this week. And you can find me on Instagram at Mandalorian. And yes, I am on Twitter.
Oh, really?
I will put it out there. It finally
wow.
finally happened. I am a big Nine Inch Nails fan. So my handle is at Resner's Chick, and it's CHIC at the end. Yes, love Nine Inch Nails. Trent, I love you, always will. But yes, that's where you can find us. And of course, I know Bill will touch on it a little bit more, but also follow the Pop Break on all your social media platforms as well. Lots of cool stuff there. But that's it for me. Thank you guys for having me.
Rob, tell us about the BCP and why we're all here.
Real quick, I'll keep it short and sweet, guys. Follow thepopbreak.com on socials. Check out the website. Follow ISPW over on YouTube. I'm posting a lot of matches over there every day. A lot of good free wrestling indie content. If you guys are watching on Facebook, check out the Bob Culture Podcast on YouTube. We're trying to get the videos going over there. Nick says, great podcast, y'all. TJ in the chat saying, great show, guys. See you in LA. And I just want to thank you guys for making the time. I always say this, but I love working with y'all. I'm so proud of you. Kimmy had a great interview. Bill, thank you for all the opportunities. Amanda, you're killing it. Ella is everywhere. I'm just so proud of having y'all on this show, man. You guys do a great job. You know your stuff. You hit your times. You hit your spots. Just thank you guys so much.
Bill, tell us about the Pop Break.
Never hit my times. I am very happy to have been on every Bob Culture WrestleMania podcast since 2016.
The streak, the real streak.
The real streak, where I said Sasha Banks was going to be a pop culture icon. So thanks for having me on all those years ago and every year since I'm a huge pain in the ass. Follow me if you must on Twitter at Bodkinwrites, WRITES. Unfortunately, unlike Ella, I am a chaos demon and I don't have everything organized. Because I am the editor-in-chief of thepopbreak.com. We've been doing this for 14 years, so go check us out, thepopbreak.com. Every single day we're posting about wrestling. We post a lot of wrestling this week. We're talking about TV, movies, comic books, anime, all sorts of great stuff. I am the co-host of Socially Distance Podcast with Amanda, who is currently just running the show, and it's a lot better with her in charge. Check us out, Socially Distance, on all your favorite streaming platforms. I'm the Bill in the Bill versus the MCU podcast on the Pop Break Today feed. This is a Marvel First Watch podcast for us. We are currently just at an episode on Daredevil Season 2. And I also do a music interview series called Anchored in Asbury, which is my interview series with people from the rich cultural and musical scene of Asbury Park. Follow the Pop Break on Twitter and Instagram at the Pop Break.
And that's it. Yay.
And go follow Kimmy at all her at Kimmy Sokol on Twitter. Of course, she's going to be all over WrestleCon. You could find her at all the big wrestling conventions out there. I heard she's going to be hanging out with her friend, who's a particular dentist, and her bearded boyfriend, who just main evented Dynamite this week. So go check Kimmy out. She's got a million articles on thepopbreak.com coming out this week. We actually just did a joint piece on the Ring of Honor Supercard, which we have to edit because Daniel Garcia and Tanahashi has now just been added. And we have a whole bunch of awesome stuff. Check out her YouTube page where she talks about all stuff Ring of Honor. And yeah, she's doing a lot of shit. Rob's doing a lot of shit. Follow Vivacious Vicious Vicki, because if we don't Rob, she will straight up put Rob in a swamp dead. That's it.
That's true.
That's how you end the podcast.
I don't
how much you love your girlfriend. That's how you end your podcast.
Yeah, and then you just end it there.
Good
Rob had one job.
Good looking out. Kimmy, great job hosting tonight. I'm going to take us out of here because you look tired. Guys, like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive.